What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wombo Combo Show. Ben here, solo dolo today. It's just me and Yins. How you guys doing? Hey, breaking news just came through to me as we were getting into the studio, as we were getting ready to go on here. It looks like Russell Wilson will be playing for the New York Giants. Thoughts on that? Jameis Winston and Russ. Who is actually the starter in everyone's mind? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll be looking for that. I'm kind of lost. I kind of thought Russ was more interested in the Cleveland job. Maybe he didn't really like the organization and the interview didn't go well. What does that mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers? What does that mean for Jameis? A bunch. Obviously, Russ is now out of the picture for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know that from the last show, in between that time period, we had Aaron Rodgers visit Pittsburgh. So it kind of seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers are just fine waiting until Aaron Rodgers decides to sign there. They have the parameters of a contract already together. I don't know. It's a foggy time of the year for these kind of conversations. All the young and better talents and other options that we've talked about throughout the offseason so far are now all unavailable. But for Russ, that's awesome that he gets a contract. Producer Paul comes into the scene for a quarter second for you, so that's his one bit of airtime. But yeah, dude. As a Steelers fan myself, I'm okay with it. I did not necessarily want to see Russ back. If you were asking me maybe 6-8 months ago, is either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler next season? I would have said yes. I would have absolutely said yes. One of them would be. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. So for the moment, we're going to live in the land of Mason Rudolph. I don't necessarily hate that. I don't necessarily love that. If you're a Steeler fan, let me know what you think. Are you excited about potential of Aaron Rodgers? Are you okay with Mason? What's your opinion? Let me know. But for Russ, I think it's great. For Jameis, like I did mention, I really thought that this was going to be his opportunity to start. I feel like if he would have known that Russell was going to sign there too, he wouldn't have, right? Like, why would you want to? I just don't know why he would want to go to a team where he knows he's not going to start again. And even if he did go to a team he's not going to start again on, a cold weather team, because he specifically said he didn't want to play for a cold weather team. He wanted to go somewhere south, get closer to home. I don't know. We're going to see how the season plays out, guys. But obviously, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the only leftover option for the Pittsburgh Steelers at this moment. And he's literally leftovers. Let's see how that plays out. Today, we are going to be doing our rankings. We're going to rank free agency. I'm going to give everybody a grade. I've got a bunch of content here for you today. I'm going to try to bring some multi-guests in throughout the show here today. But we're going to go ahead and do that. Without Ben here, it's just me to hang out with you guys. Let's check out the chat, see what's going on. Russ got paid starter money. Yeah, I know, Adam. I think that's crazy that he got paid starter money. Now, Jameis didn't get paid starter money, so maybe he did know. I don't know. It's a weird situation for me. We'll see. We'll see what goes forward with that. Hey, producer Paul, I know you might need a second to do so, but are you coming down with the P? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, usually my co-host Ben is the one who brings the laptop so that we're all set up with the on-screen stuff for you. But today he's absent and I'm filling in. So give me a brief second with that here, guys. Yeah, we're hoping he's okay, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know where he is. It's not like he hit us up and was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it today." He's just not here. And we haven't heard from him in about 24 hours. So, yeah, everyone's calm. I'm sure he's all right, but we don't know where he's at. I don't know if any of you guys caught the 32 for 32 I just did and dropped. That was on the Chargers today. I had decent little coverage of the Chargers. I gave them a pretty good grade on their offseason as well. So we'll dive into that here in a second as soon as I get this up on the screen for you guys. Give me one quick second to do that. And while we are, LG, what's up, homie? Here's the thought process. He says, Adam. He says Steelers trade up to 3 for Sanders. Dang, son. LG, I'm doing well, man. How are you today, dude? What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a tier ranking for each team's offseason. So we're going to be diving into that here in a couple seconds. If you're late into the show today, obviously my co-host isn't with me today. It's just me. So we're hanging out, but I got a lot of content written up here for you guys today, stuff for us to do. So give me a second to get this PC on and running, and we'll get into that. Other news that happened this week, guys. I mean, it's been a pretty freaking slow week for football. Going into the March Madness, dude, my bracket is absolutely torched. I don't know if any of you guys are a part of our March Madness bracket, but as for the moment, I believe the leaders of our bracket are Ashley and Tyler. They are actively crushing that bracket. My co-host Ben was in the top for the bracket. However, he picked all the upsets. So the start of his bracket put him ahead of everybody, but he had no remaining points. So he went from like 20, 30 points ahead of everybody to like 60 points behind everybody. It was pretty funny. All right, the tiers. As everything pops up on the screen. Producer Paul's watching some bad stuff on this computer, apparently. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, let's
I
let's
was
dive
using it to
into
watch
this
the
here.
fights illegally. So who knows what could be on there.
It's got all the viruses. All right, well, hey, we're gonna pop into this. Producer Paul, are you able to get that on the screen
We're
for
gonna
me?
see here. I might have to do some messing around, but yeah, so I definitely have it up now. I want to see if my PIP works. It does. I just have to move you. Okay, yeah, that looks
Ah,
half decent. So you can like just start doing your thing and I'll mess with the way it looks here in the meantime.
sweet. All right, guys. Well, hey, for grades, I've got one for each and every team here of the NFL season. I'm going to go in alphabetical order, but I also want to hear from you guys. Let me know if you think that any of my tier listings are crazy. If you think that maybe I was a little too harsh on a team, I mean, that's totally fine. I am down to adapt, and this is going to be more fan interactive with you guys, but I'm going to give you my opinion, and you tell me if I'm crazy off it. So I'm going to start off with the 49ers just because, I don't know, they're a number. I didn't feel like putting them in F. So we're starting with the 49ers. I gave them a C. What I wrote down for the 49ers for this offseason is they needed a rebuild, right? A rebuild was necessary eventually. The team was old. They still had the ability to trade those older all-stars away. Well, maybe not all-stars, whatever you want to call them. They're star players like Debo Samuels. So they were able to trade him away. Now, did they get a lot? No, but his contract was at the height of its money. So, I mean, you weren't expecting to get a lot. Now, for the Jordan Mason trade, I really, really, really feel like they could have gotten more out of it. They got a 5th round this year, a 6th round next year. I kind of felt like he was just a flat 4th round player. I don't know. Obviously, they listed him as a little bit less than a 4th round player. That's why it ended up being a 5th round and an extra who cares pick, which is what a 6th round I feel is, 6th and 7th. Like, I mean, it's very rare that a 6th and 7th round pick is any good unless you're Tom Brady or Antonio Brown,
All right,
right? So,
we got digs to the Pats in the chat from Adam. Don't know how legit that is. He's usually pretty
ah,
right, so I'm gonna take his
is
word.
what? Yeah, Adam's usually my guys. Adam, I will say, is
Yeah,
usually my number
3 years,
one
69.
updater with everything. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is breaking news. While we're live here today, it looks like the NFL free agency has started to kick itself off a little more into the second stage here of the guys that were remaining because there was a lot of good talents left. In chat here, we just got from Adam, shout out to him, that Stephon Diggs has signed with the Patriots for $69 million contract. Is that how many years? He says it's over 3 years for that contract. I love that for the Patriots. That's going to change my whole outlook on what I'm going to give them for this grade. Because my number one thing for the Patriots was, where is the wide receiver? You have all of this money. Where's the wide receiver at? So I love it. I love it, guys. In chat, let me know what you think about that. Let's get into this first one here. Oh, Scotty, what is up, man? How are you doing? We're doing a tier ranking today. So I'm gonna pull that back up on this. Maybe Paul's working on it a little bit, but I'm gonna get that back up on the screen. We're gonna start out with the 49ers. As I was talking, um, they're aging. They needed that. They needed that rebuild, and they needed a future quarter. They needed to be able to have money to build around their future quarterback and the picks to do it once they sign him, right?
So
So I think that what they did was the appropriate move. What's up,
if
buddy?
you're gonna do like a nice rant, let me know so that I can put you full screen so that I can pull shorts from it later. So like you were doing the
Oh
Pats
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
so that's why I put you up on screen. So yeah, if you got like something good to say,
No, you
hey, pull
straight.
me up on screen, kind of deal.
You straight. You straight. Scott, you'll have to see what I've got for the pack because I've got them on my list here, dude. But I will tell you, I'm going in alphabetical order. So you'll get to see a couple more teams beforehand. Adam says he was also running. Yeah, dude. He was also running fully after that. Oh, nice. Okay, so he's saying that Diggs is not only signing that contract, but he's up and for his physical, doing great. Doing great. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Scott says he's watched along. Awesome, guys. Well, so for the first one, for my very first grade for the 49ers, like I said, needed that restructure, needed that rebuild, needed to get rid of the old players, and needed to try to get some value out of them, right? So I think they did a decent job at it. I'm going to give them on the offseason a C. They have 5 picks coming up in the first 4 rounds of the draft, 2 fourth-round picks. I'm giving them a C. I don't think it was great, but I save the F because they lost so many players by the fact that this had to happen, right? So they still have like 30 or 40 million dollars. I'm sure that's going to be used to sign Purdy, maybe a couple more players to fill in what they don't get from the draft. But for the 49ers, they're getting a C. So let me get rid of this weird ad that's in my way. And we're going to put the 49ers as the first team on the board here. So they're going into C, guys. Let me know what you think about that while I get into the next one. That's going to be the Bears. The Bears, I gave a pretty decent grade to. I really like the upgrades at offensive line. Adding who all did they get here? They got Dahlman, they got Fooney, they got Jackson. I think all 3 of those guys are going to completely change around what the team looks like in 2025. Another thing that I like is the addition of Grady Jarrett. I think that's going to be huge. I think bringing in another team's captain and another team's best player never hurts. It never hurts. I kind of feel like this is like a Calais Campbell move almost. I love it. I think he loves it. So I gave the Bears a B plus. I'm putting them in the B. I wish I had a B plus one because I wish there was something above just B because I really, really like this. But I'm giving them a B. Let me know what you guys think about that one. The Bears, pretty. I think I like every single one of the offensive line hires. I mean, there aren't a million really good safe or not safeties, but centers in the NFL right now, and Dahlman is up there and probably the top 8, top 7, I would imagine. Russ to the Giants. I know Rex. How do you feel about it, my Steeler guy? Let me know. The Bears also, yeah, they also got your boy Adeo. They sure did. I think that they're going to have a great defensive line with already having Montez Sweat as well. So the Bears, I will say this: the Bears always make these awesome, flashy moves, and then they always suck. And I know I've said that a couple of times now, but it's true. It's true. Next thing we're going to cover here, guys, is the Bengals. Bengals probably got one of the worst grades. Probably got the worst grade. I don't think I put F on here because I didn't want to be that mean, but I think they get the worst grade. I mean, you lock up your 2 wide receivers who are both all-stars, best friends. They love their quarterback too. You bring back both of your tight ends as well, which he requested. I like that as well. You you bring over P. Ryan. I guess that works in some way, shape, or form. He's not necessarily all that reliable. But my biggest problem is this, and let me know if you agree with me. They only signed 2 defensive players, TJ Slayton, a defensive tackle, and Orland Burks, who is at best a third down linebacker. He's not an every down linebacker. He's a specific pass down back. Yeah, I don't know. So I gave the Bengals a D. I just I don't see how you can build your team around just scoring a ton of points and just hoping crappy defensemen fill the void of slowing them down just enough. Let me know what you think about that, man. I just it's crazy. Flock, what's up, buddy? Welcome into the live. Shy, what's up, dude? How are you? I just covered the Bears. I gave them a B plus. What do you give them for the? We're talking free agency rankings, guys. Give them free agency grades today. Shy, let me know what you think. I gave you a B plus, homie. Let's see here. Next one, I have the Bills. So let me make sure that I get the Bengals on there because they got my worst grade. I didn't even mention it. They got a D. If I was being extra mean, I'll give them an F. But I didn't put F on here. So yeah, they get a D. Bills, nothing exciting. They literally probably had the blandest offseason of any of the team. Like, let's be serious. They spent a bunch of money on Josh Allen, who they already had, and was also already under contract, but they just wanted to extra extend him even longer. So, congratulations, Josh Allen, on making a bunch of money and marrying a super hot girl. That's like their whole offseason, right? I mean, the only other thing that I can really think about for the Bills that they did is they signed Larry Ogunjobi and some other defensive linemen who both immediately failed for PEDs as soon as they signed on the team. So they were on PEDs to pass their physical to get onto the team, and now they're both suspended 4 games. C. C for the Bills, guys. Let me know what you think about that. But I'm going C for the Bills. In chat, Flock says he's working on his race car. Bro, send me a race car. I need a race car. You're mad on the Bosa signing, Adam. That was my thing. The people that they brought in, like old. Like we're replacing Von Miller, who's old. I mean, older than Joey Bosa, I know. But with Joey Bosa. Whoa. What an upgrade. I don't know. So that's why I'm there with that. Yes. Flip, I agree with you. Diggs to the Patriots is wild. I'm super happy about it. I'm not even a Patriots fan. Hopefully, our number one Patriots fan chimes in here. I'm sure he'll end up saying that we're live and he'll pop in. But I'm sure he's ecstatic right now. Von Miller is a Super Bowl MVP, Adam, but I think that Von Miller's great career is probably over. I will say that I do think he ends up on the Broncos, who's the next team I'm going to cover. And I'm not going to lie, I gave the Broncos the best grade. They have one of the best grades, I think, that I gave anybody throughout this entire grading process. I have the Broncos with adding Hufunga, adding Greenlaw, who's hopefully going to be 100%. We did see him for a short period of time in 2024, and hopefully Hufunga can play more than 5 games. But adding both of those players and Evan Ingram for Bo Nix, I love these moves. I absolutely love these moves. I think they need to do more. I think that the draft needs to include a running back. I think it needs to include a wide receiver, especially while now we just learned that Stephon Diggs is off the table. Not that they were going to go for him anyways, but he's off the table. There aren't a lot of good free agency wide receivers left out there. They haven't really brought anybody in to help out that room. They did lose Javonte Williams to the Cowboys. So they need to do something because that running game wasn't very great. And the passing game only has one guy, and his name's Cortland Sutton. Let's be completely honest. I know Evan Ingram's going to add to it, but we need more. You absolutely need to add more. Now, I gave him an A because they have the picks to be able to do this, and they're in the right position to be able to add those types of skill players. So they are my first and maybe one of my only A's of the offseason. They didn't really lose a lot of key players, really much of anybody. I mean, Zach Wilson is, I think, my number one name I was thinking of that they lost. Who cares about mom lover Zach Wilson, guys? So I'm going to give the Broncos an A. If there's any Broncos fans out there watching this, let me know if you agree with me. Do you think they deserve an A? Do you? I do. So next thing we're going to talk about here, guys, getting into the chat just real quick. Where's Ben at today? Ben, I'm not going to lie, Flock. We don't know where Ben's at. He maybe just having a rough day and slept through something or another.
Sleeping. He's
not
sleeping.
100% sure, but I imagine he just had a tough day. Maybe went to the gym after work and slept through his alarm, but that's totally fine. You get me. I got the prettier face anyways, right? Right, Flock? Tell me yes. Flock, tell me I'm pretty. Anyways, the next team I'm going to talk about is going to be the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, I didn't give them the worst grade, and the reason why I didn't give them the worst grade is because they saved their offseason by restructuring, Deshaun Watson, paying him out, and, being able to get rid of him next season. That's literally it. They will finally be safe. After next season, they'll owe him $46.2 million, and they'll finally be safe. I don't think they had a better offseason than the Vikings. Adam, you'll have to wait to the end, but there is another team who gets some good grades here. But yeah, for the Browns, the only other thing that I see is that I see that could give them a positive grade is they at least did get some sort of quarterback in Kenny Pickett because they didn't have another one on the roster after losing Jameis Winston to free agency. I don't love Kenny Pickett. You guys know this. I'm a Steelers fan, but I mean, as an organization, at least you have somebody who has veteranship underneath of the center and is able to play for them, right? At best, that's what I can say about that. The other thing that I did see, I think it's a little crazy, but I did see this out there that the Browns are interested in trading either a third or fourth round pick for Ayuk if the 49ers are willing to get rid of him. I don't I don't know. Ayuk and Jerry Judy, that does sound like a decent combo. On the Browns, though, it does not. Yeah, that's just how I feel about that. Browns, I am giving a C for this offseason, and that is strictly, guys, because Deshaun Watson, uh, yeah, they got rid of his money. That's basically it. Let's see here. Jerry says Diggs just went to the Patriots. I know, Jerry. What a deal for the Patriots. They're going to have hopefully a completely recovered Diggs coming into the season for Drake May. I think that's great. I also think that they're going to move Joe Milton to somebody. I feel like Joe Milton ends up going somewhere. I heard the Cowboys have been a team to look out for, which is kind of weird given that they have Dak, but Joe Milton possibly going to the Cowboys. Watch for that one. Guys, next team we're going to talk about here in short is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I gave the Buccaneers a B. Reason why is because they added Reddick to the pass rush. Now, obviously, Reddick didn't play much of anything last season, but I think that he gets down there, gets back into the system, and is a factor for their team in 2025. I also like excuse me. I like that they brought back Levante David. That's their defensive captain. He's the glue guy. Bring him back. Maybe, yes, I know he's like, what, 35, 36 years old, but it's worth it to bring him back just because, like I said, he's their glue guy. And then the other guy they brought back, Chris Godwin. He wanted to be back, and I'm pretty excited, but also kind of confused. I thought Chris Godwin was gone, to be completely honest. I thought he was one of the people that the Patriots were going to go after. I thought it was either going to be, T. Higgins or Chris Godwin going to the Patriots. And here we are today. It's Stephon Diggs. I mean, I like the ad for Stephon Diggs. I also like the ad of uh, Godwin for the Buccaneers. So, anyways, I'm giving the Buccaneers a B just because they're bringing back their core, and then they added a little bit to the pass rush. They really didn't lose anybody. And I also wanted to say that I could see them trading Rashad White at some point in time, whether that is during the draft, right after the draft, right before the draft, or during the preseason.
We got
So
Derpy
keep an
over
eye
in
on that.
YouTube chat. Shout out to Derpy.
What's up, Derpy? How are you today, dude? We got some Steelers coverage for you coming up, and we'll just say that I'm not going to be very nice. Put it that way. Anyways, next team. Let me get the Buccaneers on the board before I forget that. But the next team we're going to talk about, because we are going in alphabetical order. And that is an ad that decided to pop up. Next thing we're going to talk about, though, is going to be the Cardinals, guys. We're going to talk about the Cards. I think my favorite thing about the Cardinals for this offseason, I wish this mouse would work. There we go. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, mouse. The thing I like about the Cardinals, guys, is what they did to the defensive line. They re-signed Browning. I like that. Baron Browning. He came over in a trade from the Broncos, around the trade deadline. They also brought in Dalvin Tomlinson. They brought in Josh Sweat. I think that's going to be a pass rush and run defense to watch out for. I really do. They also brought in Davis Gaithers, who isn't a big name, but Akeem Davis Gaithers is a good, second, first down linebacker who comes in, plugs the run. So I do like him as well. I think the Cardinals are rebuilding on something. I don't think they have all the pieces necessary. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. was necessarily as ready as we thought he was to be in the pros. I think that he does have a good future. Uh, when it comes to wide receivers, though, it's a little bland over there. Still running with James Conner. They got Trey Benson in the backfield. Maybe 2025 is their season to really put forward with Trey McBride as well. Ah, I'm 50-50, but at least they're building on something. And it looks like half of that division is in a rebuild, anyways. So this might be the Cardinal season to get somewhere. So I like that they rebuilt their defense. I'm going to give them a B. It's a pretty good B because they rebuilt a whole defensive line out of just money. So we're gonna give them a B. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Let me get into the chat here, see when if anything's going on. Oh, you got to get back to doing some races. Okay, dude. All right. What's up, Bears D dot? Next team, guys, we're gonna talk about is the Chargers. I just dropped the 32 for 32 on the Chargers today. Make sure you go to our profile. Make sure you click on that and give it a watch. Smack a like. Help us break the algorithm. We would appreciate it. But I kind of like what the Chargers did. Let me get a drink here. With no bend to break me up a little bit. I'm getting parched, guys. But
I have
anyways,
nothing of value to
um,
add in the meantime.
you're totally fine, brother. Producer ball in the background, like Chargers. Let me see here. But anyways, for the Chargers, guys, did I put? Yeah, I did. Chargers adding Najee is good for them. I was in a Chargers podcast the other night talking about it. They were speaking the world. They were treating Najee. Some of these guys were in there. Some of you guys were in there while I was doing this. They were talking about Najee Harris like he was God. And I was like, hold on. I gave a big long speech in a mic drop moment. I just it- Najee Harris is great is a great ad for the Chargers. Yes, but he is not a superstar. Calm down. Anyways, I digress. Najee Harris, good ad. They got Mekhi Becton. I think that's a good ad. He's a recycled player at a different position, but I think he's very good at that position. He was on a team that just won the Super Bowl. So, what can I say? Um, the other guy that they added that I wanted to highlight, this is not like a big name. This is a guy that I think has a lot of potential, and moving to a new team might be what he needed. And this is Andre James. He's a center off of the Raiders moving over. I really think that kind of like Kenyon Green, who went from the Texans and is now going to play on the Philadelphia Eagles, or the guy that we just talked about, um, Mekhi Becton, that a change of scenery and maybe a switch of position, excuse me, potentially, as a center, only being able to move to potentially right or left guard might be the right move for them. It might be something that they do. And I think he has a chance to end up a starter and end up revitalizing his career as a Charger on his former team's rival team. So for the Chargers, I also gave them a B. And this is more or less based on the fact that what they lost isn't really as worth as much as what they gained. Dotson, injury prone. Gus Edwards wasn't really producing for them after being a 5 yards a carry guy at the Ravens. Um, Another thing that they lost was Asante Samuel Jr., but he was benched at one point in time in this season. So it kind of seemed like his time at the Chargers was already over. So for the Chargers, I'm going to give them a B. I know that I've been giving a couple guys Bs. If you guys in chat don't believe that one of them should be one way, let me know. We'll argue about it. I'm with it. They need to stop playing overseas games. Oh, why, dude? I kind of like the overseas games a little bit, Tony. And I'll tell you this, Tony, and you'll have to let me know if you're an East Coaster or West Coaster. But as a East Coaster, the reason why I like them is because when I wake up on Sunday, it's 8 a.m. I hang out for a minute, get my morning shower, have breakfast, and then boom, 9 a.m. There's a football game on until 11 o'clock at night. I love that. Producer Paul, do you ever wake up and watch the London games?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. I enjoy the early games. Now, if I was a player, I would probably not feel the same way. I'd be pretty miffed about having to get on like a 12-hour flight to go over there and play. But at the same rate, I don't know. You get to go somewhere cool. I'm sure they like it the first couple of times, but I bet it also gets old as a player.
True.
Again, as a fan, I think it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, as a fan, I think it's great. As like I said, being on the East Coast, being able to watch football all day long, I think is also awesome. I will say though, if you're specifically a Jaguars fan or a Jaguars player, maybe you don't love it as much. Paul, I don't know if you knew this. I'm sure Chap probably does, but the Jaguars always play a game in London every single year.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They're like
so,
the
so
home
maybe they
team in a
don't.
way.
Yeah, yeah, it's considered one of their home games as well. So they lose one of the games that maybe as a season ticket holder you'd get to go to. You
Mhm.
don't get to go to that one.
Now,
So I mean
I
that
I
does
know
kind of suck.
they're making a move in Germany. Do you think they're going to make one of the teams the home team of Germany?
Well, yeah, I would think so because the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna be the home team of the Ireland game.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty
So,
cool. I didn't know that. I like that.
yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna be playing in Dublin, Ireland. They are the home team for that game. So we'll see. I don't know. I like the Germany games. I really like the international games, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Brazil game. I didn't like it as much as the London games because of the time frame. But no, I'm not sure, Tony. I personally, I really like the international games. I think they're fun. I think it allows people across the world to enjoy what we enjoy, and I think that it's okay to share football. Honestly, that's my opinion on it, and specifically just at my own personal greediness, I like to watch football at 8:30 in the morning. That's just me. I also like that Rich Eisen is the one who does the game. I don't know. I really like it. Anyways, let me get back onto my ratings here. We were on Chargers. I gave them a B. Shout out to my girl Aiko when she pops in here. If you guys see Poppy, let me know because she's dope. Um, Tony, London Jaguars. No, you ain't wrong though. The thing is that I think that Khan, whatever Khan, whatever his name is, I think that he wants to move the team to London. I just don't think that logistically that's a good move. Because you won't see any Yinzers buying or getting passports to go to London. I promise you that. Um, is it maybe good for the brand? Sure. Is it good for the culture of the NFL? No. I think the NFL stays American only. You could add
Yeah, I don't think they
possibly,
could do it logistically, having a team over there, because then you'd
yeah,
have to be sending like half of the league over there once a year. I don't see it.
right. And
Unless they
what
have
the like,
if they
an
want to put 4 teams over there, maybe. But like,
right,
even are you going to
right.
expand
That's
the league that much? I hope not.
you would almost have to at that point. And the reason why would be like, think about it. What division are you going to put them in? Because I guess the closest flight division would be probably the AFC East, right? Because that would be New York and Miami. But at the same exact time, those teams in Miami would have to fly over there
Yeah,
and play once
Like
a
Adam
year.
said, they should do Canada and Mexico first. I'd be more down with Canada and Mexico having a team. Now
Right.
I don't see that happening either with all the stuff that's going on. But yeah,
Yeah, to stay out of politics, I don't know if Canada will be getting a, NFL team anytime soon. However, I do agree with you, Adam. If there was going to be, an international team that was added, I would say that if you added a team to somewhere like I know it's not necessarily international, but if you added a team in Puerto Rico, or if you had a team in, one of the large cities in Brazil, or if you had one in Mexico or Canada somewhere, Mexico City had a team, or if Toronto had a team, you would be staying within the same time zones at least, you know what I mean? That it would be appropriate. Now, yes, would there be a lot of flight, but it wouldn't be flight in and out of time zones causing lag, causing, when these teams leave London, they need days off. They end up being the Monday night game or the Thursday night game the following week or having their bye week because they have to get readjusted back to everything going across the planet and back. So, um, yeah, I just don't see them adding a permanent team like the London Jaguars, like, Tony was saying in chat, but I do like us sharing the NFL in these large soccer stadiums, and you see they're like 3/4 the way filled, so they're very interested in it. I don't know, I like it. Somehow Sweet Caroline gets sang every single time in a European game. I'm with it. But, yeah, guys, let's get into the next team. Next team I have.
one more thing, real quick. You should try
Oh,
to
yeah.
make the Steelers in the next 10 minutes. That way, we can end on that, and then we'll obviously stay live. But just so I can stop the camera recording here in the next 10 minutes, you might have to jump them up the line so you can fit it
Oh
in.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get through a couple here with you guys. So what I have here for the Chiefs guys to round off my first page of content here because I wrote all this down. I'm old school. I'm a '90s kid. I write stuff down with pencil still. Um, I gave the Chiefs a B, and the reason why I gave them a B is this: I feel like what they did wasn't exciting, but what they did was the necessary moves. They signed Elijah Mitchell, who's the running back who hasn't played in a good period of time for the 49ers, but when he did play is good. He's really injury prone. So we're going to see they're giving him a chance. They brought back Kareem Hunt. Hey, Kareem was probably the better of the two running backs. Even when Isaiah Pacheco played, he kind of sucked. So, like, I think that Kareem Hunt would bring. excuse me, bringing Kareem Hunt back wasn't a bad idea. They signed Gardner Minshew as the backup quarterback, who is way better than Carson Wentz. Kind of sucks because I like to see Gardner Minshew play. You probably won't see Gardner Minshew play now because he's going to be sitting behind Mahomes the whole time. Another guy that they re-signed was Hollywood Brown. I like that. We didn't get to see him in the entire season. Then he ends up coming in the playoffs. It was pretty decent for them. I'd like to see him come back with Patrick Mahomes next season. The last guy that they re-added was Trey Smith. They franchise tagged him. He was one of their best players coming into the offseason who was going to be available. I'm glad that they brought him back for their sake. Not for, I mean, I don't like the Chiefs, but for their sake, I'm glad that they brought him back. He's one of their key players. I gave them a B. And the reason why I gave him a B is because they also restructured Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones and got like $55 million. So I don't know. I really like that. Let me know what you think about that. Tony says, many said the Chiefs would three-peat. I kept saying no. If New England couldn't do it, no one will. Tony, you starting to sound more like a Patriots fan by the second there, brother. Let me know. Are you a Patriots fan? And yeah, I'm glad that the Chiefs didn't three-peat. I'm super happy the Chiefs didn't three-peat. Shout out to all my Phillies fans out there, all you Eagles fans out there. Next team we're going to talk about.
I got to shout out Adam real quick too because he says Colts and A plus or we riot.
Well, guess what? We're on the Colts, and
riot.
he knows it. He knows it. We're on the Colts right now, guys. I know I got a couple Colts fans in the chat here today. For the Colts, you're right. I gave them a great grade. I am giving the Colts an A. They're my second team to get an A. It looks like if you're a horse team in the NFL, you get an A from me. But what I got for the Colts is this. They added Daniel Jones to compete against Anthony Richardson. I like that. They added Cam Bynum at safety. I love that. They added Tarvarius Ward is my favorite ad of all of them. Adam and Red, if you're in chat, let me know who your favorite ad is. Tarvarius Ward is my favorite ad for them. I think he's going to be great. They put Khalil Herbert in. They grab him. Khalil Herbert's going to play behind Jonathan Taylor. I think that's a great ad because the running backs that they had behind Jonathan Taylor all sucked. I had Jonathan Taylor in fantasy football. I had to pick up all the bums like Sermon who played behind him. I hate him. So I am glad that they grabbed Khalil Herbert. I think it's a great ad. Another guy they added, Gallimore. This is from the Patriots. He's a defensive tackle. I think he is a great steal of a player. I think he'll play great in the run stopping for them. They needed additional help with the Forrest Buckner. I think he's going to be great. And then they brought back one of the two French fries. They brought back French. They let Will Fries go. He's on another team now. We'll talk about them in a minute. But they did bring back French, and I think French is good. He's a little injury prone, but I like the additions. They rebuilt the whole defense in the spots that they needed to. So I did give them an A. An A for the Colts. Colts fans, you can't torch me. I gave you the best grade. There's nothing that you can say. I gave you the best grade. We'll see what you do in the draft because you got some things you need to do. Excuse me. We'll see what your quarterback is. All right. Let's round off a couple more here. Then producer Paul is going to tell me to cut it short. Next one is going to be the Commanders, guys. And for the Commanders, I gave them a B+, and it's because they traded for a lot of players. They ended up trading for Deebo Samuels, ended up trading for Tunzel, both of whom I think are pretty good players. Tunzel, they gave up a little bit too much. Deebo, as much as he is old, they gave up a 5th-round pick. So who cares? I mean, that's not a terrible pick. I've seen a lot of memes of him being like 600 pounds, being like, this is Deebo Samuels on the Commanders. No, he's going to be all right. They also brought back Wagner. I like it. He seemed to be the cornerstone of their defense in 2024. They also brought in Javon Kinlaw. I like that ad. Bringing him in to replace maybe Jonathan Taylor. Kinlaw, obviously not the same tiers of a player as Jonathan Allen, but he's pretty good, right? Another person that they brought in is Jonathan Jones to come play cornerback, coming over from the Patriots. He's pretty good in man. I mean, he's getting up there in age. I think he's 30, 31 years old now, so he's starting to tailor off in his career. But Jonathan Jones is not a terrible cornerback. I think bringing him in was a good ad. The cornerbacks that they had, like St. Juice, and the fellow they let go, Emmanuel Forbes Jr., they were just trash, dude. You had to get an upgrade, and this is one. So for the Commanders, I gave them a B+ on this one. Maybe a little bit of a high grade because of that Laramie Tunzel trade. I still think it's a little bit too much. You could have just given 1 second-round pick, called it a day, right? Next team we're going to talk about, this is going to be the Cowboys, guys. Cowboys, quickly. They don't have much for me to talk about because they suck and they brought in crappy stuff. For this, one question here was from Tony. He says, "I bet Taylor Swift doesn't even like football, and Kelsey doesn't like her music." Oh my goodness, Tony, you're just going ham, brother. He's going ham. Adam is back in the chat. Adam, I didn't notice that you were a subscriber to us. Adam, appreciate you, brother. Money Ward, he says, absolutely, dude. Cowboys a D, and you're absolutely right, Adam. That is what I gave the Cowboys. The Cowboys get a D. Here's why, guys. They signed Peyton Turner. He's a failed first-round pick from the Saints. That's their first out of the offseason. Second guy, Javonte Williams. They paid him $3 million to come over. That's probably their best ad, I would say, just because it was so cheap, not because he's so good. They also added Miles Sanders. He sucks. They also added Dante Fowler. Now, Dante Fowler is the first player of the Cowboys who's been added to the team and is getting paid more than $6 million since 2015. He's getting to $8 million. So, woo, really broke the bank on that one. Additionally, they did trade for Kyer Elam from the Buffalo Bills. He's a cornerback, and they also traded for Kenneth Murray from the Titans. I like Kenneth Murray a little bit more than I like Elam. Both not bad, not great, kind of like average players. I'm giving the Cowboys a D because of the Cowboys, because they did nothing. They did nothing flashy. They filled in none of the positions I thought they would. Jerry Jones said they were going to go crazy this year. They're going to go crazy on free agency this year. They didn't sign anybody. They gave Osa Odighizuwa $80 million. That's what they did. Next team, the only team that I technically did give an F to, but I can't give them an F because I didn't put F on here because I felt that just giving somebody complete failure was too mean. But the worst offseason, I think, so far has been the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins did absolutely nothing. They don't structure their contracts correctly. Everybody's getting paid too much. They can't pay anybody. Here's who they signed in the offseason. Let me see if this really rocks the boat for you. They signed Nick Westbrook-Akine, Alexander Madison, and Zach Wilson. Does that do it for you? Does that do it for you? If it does, go watch the UFL. The Dolphins get a D, guys. I am not even playing around with them. That terrible job. I gave them an F on my paper, but I didn't put F on the screen, so we're not giving them an F. Next team we're going to talk about is going to be the Eagles. Eagles I'll do quickly. I know that Paulie's got me with 5 minutes before he wants me to shut it down, at least for the recording. So stay live. We're going to be here.
Yeah, we'll still be live, boys.
For the Eagles, they locked down Saquon. I like that. They completely shook up the market. I like that. The running back market is now they're getting paid more than they were before. They also added A.J. Dillon, who didn't play in 2024 due to a neck injury, I believe it is. I think it was a neck injury. But bringing in A.J. Dillon is going to be a great ad. I believe it, dude. I like A.J. Dillon a lot. He's a great number 2 back. So let's wait and see what he does in Kelly Green this season. Another guy they brought in is Josh Uche. He's going to play on the outside. I think he's going to be a great replacement for Josh Sweat. I think this is another one of those players that the Eagles turn from, diamond or from dust to diamond. They're gonna do something with this kid. He was good for a little while on the Patriots, ended up kind of falling off. Ended up being on the trade block for a while. Didn't get moved around. Did get moved around eventually. We'll see if Josh Uche can revitalize his career over there with the Eagles. They also added Ojulari from the Giants, which I absolutely love adding Azeez Ojulari. I think that this is just another one of those Giants players who didn't pan out on the Giants, and he's going to go over to the Eagles. He's going to do great. I can't wait to see it happen. Another player they added was Adoree Jackson. This also is a Giants ad. But Adoree Jackson is like 31, 32 years old. This is a Darius Slay replacement. I think they could have done better. Because of that, I'm giving them a C+. Additionally, the trade for CJ I don't feel like they got enough value out of it. Kenyon Green, I know they're going to try to refurbish him to replace Mekhi Becton, but I don't necessarily love that. We're going to go ahead and give the Eagles a C on this one, guys. Let me see here what I got. I got like 3 or 4 minutes, so let me get into 1-2 more teams. Next team I'm going to cover just to get it in for Paulie. The next team I'm going to cover is actually going to be the Patriots. We're going to update that one because of the Diggs ad. Originally, I had the Patriots at a B, guys. Adding Chason, adding Epps, adding Milton Williams this offseason, adding Carlton Davis, Robert Spillane, Harold Landry, and now also adding Stephon Diggs. They are I said earlier that the Broncos were probably the best free agency ads that I liked. I'm wrong. The Patriots had the best offseason of any single team. I would if I was the Jets, if I was the Bills, if I was the Miami Dolphins, I would be worried about the 2025 Patriots. Seriously. Mike Vrabel's rebuilding the team. They still have the draft to go through. I literally said this in our 32 for 32. Make sure you check it out. That they need to add a big name like Diggs, and they did it. 3 years, I believe we said $69 million. I love that for them. They get an A for this one, an absolute A. Clip that one. Next one that I want to talk about here, guys, is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. This will be the last one we'll have on the recording here for you today. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube that you check us out live. We're live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. You can't miss us. Smack the subscribe button so you get the notification when we're on. The last one we're going to talk about on our podcast here today is going to be the Steelers, my Pittsburgh Steelers. I wrote the words in big letters, poop. That's what I wrote. I wrote poop. All the other ones, I have these nice little paragraphs with compliments and small negative remarks. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, I wrote poop. Flip that. Poop. The reason being is because what we're looking at is we added a cornerback. All right, yeah, we needed a cornerback. Who is it? Well, he's a Super Bowl champion cornerback. Oh, nice. Nice. Super Bowl champion quarterback. Cool. Cornerback rather. Is he fast? No, Oh, well, he was. Is he good in coverage? No. Oh, but he was. Um, who is it? Oh, it's Darius Ancient Slay. Darius Slay and I are the same age. Okay. I have white hair in my beard. Darius Slay, I don't think it was a great ad. We guaranteed his entire contract, which I believe was $10 million. I hate that. And then we rounded it up saying, oh, you know what? Let's just pay some more bozos who won a Super Bowl. And we grabbed Kenneth Gainwell, who sucks. Kenneth Gainwell, I'm sorry. Usually I don't try to be this negative about players, but Kenneth Gainwell is not going to be a good addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers in any way, shape, or form. I would be surprised if he even actually makes the team. I feel like we should have went with a rookie, and we should have went with Jalen Warren or maybe J.K. Dobbins. We have the money to do something like that, but no, we got Gainwell. Other than that, we've left ourselves in quarterback limbo coming up to the draft. We're drafting 21st, so we don't even have a chance at one of the top quarterbacks. Might not even have a chance at one of the top 3 quarterbacks, and the third one isn't very good in Jackson Dart, in my opinion. I don't think he's an initial starting quarterback. I think he's a project quarterback. So that means we're either going to get ancient Aaron Rodgers, or we're going to go with Mason Rudolph to throw the football to the Crash Out brothers, George Pickens and DK Metcalf, who we acquired in a trade for a second-round pick and then decided, let's give him $33 million a year over the next 5 years. Don't hate the trade. Just don't think we have the right pieces to make the trade worth what the trade is. Guys, my name's Ben Kepler. This was the Wombo Combo Show. Make sure you slap that subscribe button so that you see when we're live next. And until the next one, peace out.